part of why we started our business was seeing that like the way the voices are heard right now is just weird on social media. It doesn't feel like the current social media does the right thing professionally. It doesn't feel like it does the right thing socially. You guys found something here. The anti-Facebook, the anti-Mark Zuckerberg. What's going on? I mean, how do you guys feel based on how everything's gone so far? Just how's everything feeling?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, anti-Facebook, I think you can take a look at us and already see some sentiment to that. But we're feeling good. I think that one thing me and Sean do know just from this whole event happening is it's nothing new, nothing surprising, because we knew one day it would happen. We've been working at this for a while in terms of podcasts we used to run called the Founder Series, us iterating from, AI timelines to AI networks. This has been something in the making for a while. But on a bigger note, we think that we're making history to be a representation of what successful entrepreneurship looks like, right? And we've always had a mission and a moat to say, no matter how you look or how you act, that's going to be exemplified through your merit. And a lot of people are recognizing that, and we're excited to see it.
Amazing. Where does all of this come from, though? On like a more like deeper perspective, right? Like, what drives you guys, right? Like, I know like I wanted to create our brand so that we were able to connect, early stage entrepreneurs with resources and perspectives that are unique. People like you guys that are doing things that we've never seen before. But where does it come from for you guys?
Yeah, I can jump in and give you two answers. One that's practical to our lives and our experiences, and then the more macroscopic view. I'm neuro at Yale, right? So pro-sociality, behavioral psychology, social neuroscience has been my passion since I stepped foot on campus. Nathaneo's been building and hacking since high school, something that I wasn't doing. And so he came to Yale as a CS major knowing he wanted to build products. But yeah, I mean, what drives us, right? Obviously, to us both, being from single Black mothers, living shared experiences in that way, but just on opposite coasts. I was born and raised in Queens, born and raised in California. So, there was differences there. But in terms of the pressures of not only, getting up in the morning and doing great for ourselves, but really for our moms who kind of put it all out there on the line for us to succeed. On a more macroscopic level, though, just realizing a lot of things that you hinted at, Gen Z pro-sociality is broken, right? And more so after COVID, right? And the generations to come are going to have the same, hindering effects because of everything that social media is creating and causing. Not to say these platforms didn't start great. I think they did, most of them. But with every solution comes new problems. And our generation and generations coming next are going to feel the intensity of those problems. And so if there's not going to be a team like us that looks like us, why not be that, right? And that was what we were thinking before starting all this and transitioning from the more media side of things to tech, something that could be scalable and impact not only our communities, but also just young builders out there who want something different in terms of social experience.
How can you make sure that this vision, which is, you're just getting started, right? Like there's a lot of press right now. You have 3 million raised, right? But you're just getting started. How can you make sure that this vision doesn't get co-opted and changed over time?
Yeah, I think there's two ways fundamentally a vision can get redirected, right? It's if you don't have a solid foundation on what you wanted to build, or you listen to the noise too much, right? And that's just a personality trait of being coerced into what the public perception wants you to be. We've had some people reach out to us on the media side who maybe saw us on Complex, who think we're taking a different direction of what entrepreneurship can look like for this. But one thing that we know about each other and that I've been raised on is, right, we hold true to the values of what this can be. And the true intention why we built Series is to create the most largest and accessible warm network, right? So the ability to reach people in different human networks, maybe things that were unattainable due to your family, due to your friend groups, due to where you grew up. This now becomes accessible because we use these AI friends as these centralized nodes to connect different networks, right? So that's our mission, right? That's our goal. If someone tries to coerce what we're building now to become something different, then we simply just won't let that happen because, as our investors tell us and as we've known to ourselves, right, we're called inevitable. And that's not even us, but the change that we represent in being able to create a cultural shift and just a bigger shift in the world to how accessibility is becoming more prominent, starting with Series.
Inevitability is a strong concept. I think that like we all have visions for like what, especially as founders, right? We have visions for what our company can be and the impact that it can have. I was told recently that the word impact is used too much, that instead we should search for meaning. I feel like there's something here based on what you all have said that actually differentiates impact from meaning pretty well. Impact, people look at, users, right? We use these weird terms in tech, right? Users, right? It's not really like the people. It's not very human oriented, right? And I would hope that as you all continue to grow, right, you don't get stuck from like an investor, right, and like daily active users, right, or like trying to like have like these like incredible metrics, right, or perhaps trying to monetize too quickly. That's something that could be really, really tough because you could lose genuine connection if you monetize too quickly. I could definitely see that as an issue for you all. I guess as like a final question here, how can you make sure that your work continues to have a meaning in every sense of that word, right? I know that there's these, the lofty goals that you have, but even in like the design of your product, how do you ensure that that is still meaning focused moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And it's so convenient that our relationship as founders started first as friends. I mentioned some of those shared experiences kind of being zeroed out in the Yale scene in terms of how we look and how we talk, right? And so there was just very inevitable meaning in that sense, right? And I think we can carry on having meaning with everything that we do at Series by sticking strong to our moat, right? Being the anti-LinkedIn, being the anti-Facebook, and not letting a big shark come along and say we're doing something wrong, right? And if we're starting as a platform with no followers, no feed, no likes, no doom scrolling, right? That's how we're going to stop. And that's how we're going to end. We're not going to sell out to someone that's going to change our vision or change the plans that we have. That will give us that end goal meaning, if you want to call it. I think meaning is way more important than impact. Capital can have impact. You give a community like mine $1 million, that can have a very tangible impact to their lives on a day-to-day. But meaning, as you suggested, goes a step further. That's in alignment with purpose. And a human with no purpose is living a very lost life. Their existence is not what it could fully be, right? And so through building a platform that doesn't look at the people who text an AI friend as just users, looking at them more holistically and saying, no, you know other people as well. And you have the power to touch community like we all do, right? That's when we see the shift from just a user to someone as a network that brings their own ecosystem that matters to the equation. And that's how our platform lives. So, great question.
Yeah, and I see you all thinking about even the word network in a different way, right? The way you just said network was not about, I hate networking, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone's using this word network all the time. There's this word network that you just used, right? Networking is so overused. The word networking is so overused. What also gets me upset these days is the overuse of the word community. I think everyone writes all of these things, especially on LinkedIn, right? About how we're building community, right? Like I'll see people just like hosting events, like a very simple event, right? Like it could be a panel, right? Like not even anything crazy. Be like, we are building community. I since when was community just like listening to other people talk?
Yeah.
Like actually, like community for me, like I come from like a New Jersey Italian American family. Like community is like sitting at the table, like yapping, maybe saying too much, maybe getting upset at the other person, right? But that's community, right? Like that, and the current world of social media is just like such an echo chamber that it doesn't feel like you can actually create community on there at all. Have you all thought about that concept of community so far?
It's the word of community too. I think you mentioned you're able to talk on the table and everyone can commute and like exchange information. That's because there's equity within a community, right? And the biggest thing, which you haven't even mentioned, right? Sean's saying these things like anti-Facebook, anti-LinkedIn. What does that mean? Well, that's because every social platform today has a quantitative value assigned to a person. You have your follower count, you're going to have your like count, you're going to have your comments count. But if you were to eliminate all that, then you instead use qualitative metrics to understand who you are, right? Where do you go to school, maybe how you look. And some of these still have inherent biases, but these platforms have added an extra bias to look for. And that's because they're micro-influencer platforms. Not to say that they're bad, right? I think that they will be around for a while, and those are platforms that we use ourselves to promote our product. But we're just trying to take the next iteration of human connection by going back to, as you mentioned, something like community. And why is it a community? Well, it's because everyone has the same equity and the same democratization where there isn't a quantitative qualifier that can make someone more important than another person, right? It's instead just who they are internally, right? Everyone has the same picture, Everyone has the same bio and the same roughly word phrases, right? And the same kind of groups of people that they know and their connections. So when I look at someone else, I'm not going to have a bias in terms of they have more followers than me, or they're an influencer, right? There's this democratization. And that's what really, in our head, builds a very strong mode of community around the people that use Series today.
Community isn't an ex post, come grab cookies with said venture group, and then you go, and the guy who posted that community event is sitting, scrolling on Twitter, right? And that's what we see as a pervasive wrong in this builder community. Certainly. And so, let's actually meet the people we need to meet and understand that there is a root of transactionality, but that's not a bad thing. Like, I even think, a mom having a kid is transactional to a degree.
Right.
That's not bad though, right? Like, a mom wanted to have a kid, right? So she went and had a kid, right? There was a selfish root of that. But, obviously I'm saying that very literally. But yeah, we have to first understand that we all want things out of each other. And there's a way to be a little more transparent about those wants. And once we're more transparent, community will make a lot more sense.
Yeah, and it's genuine. It's real, right? Like, things have not felt real on social media for a long time. I think like Instagram was like the original, like, okay, you have your Instagram self, then you have your real self. That was kind of like the original thing. But I'm seeing these trends like be pervasive, honestly, on X, Twitter, whatever it's called now, and LinkedIn for sure. I think LinkedIn's definitely the case. Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, thank you. I'm stoked for you. I think this is going to be insane. This journey that has already begun and is going to continue for you all is going to be. There will be a meaning, significant meaning here, and I'm excited. Any last words you want to say? What also are you giving yourselves time to like rest a little bit? Because I feel like it's probably a lot of things. Constantly seeing all these articles, right? Like you're taking some time to yourself. I hope too, right?
Yeah, definitely are. I know, Sean, we can give our last words. At least my last words would be, put on a post yesterday that in my head I made my younger self proud. Right, that's a lot of things that people can't say. I do hope that in that, this inspires a new community of people to build based on not what you were supposed to do, not based on, what you look like, but to really just democratize and have true merit be behind the people that shape our world. Right. And that's how the world should be. But what happens is there's just different networks, right, that people can access or can't utilize. That changes how merit plays a factor into shaping the world. And we're here to make a change, and we hope that change can inspire.
If we're speaking to our users, which Nathaneo kind of led with, right, like our generation and the ones a little younger, I think I'd want to leave a little advice. Don't write anyone off. I'll tell a quick anecdote. Williamsburg, 2 weeks ago, we're playing with the founder of GPTZero, who came into the round as well. Founders like Ashton at Fizz, right? Like, we all use these apps as college students. Two guys walked by, two black guys, probably around our age, kind of look like us, right? It's me and him, 2 6'5" black guys, playing with a bunch of Asians and white guys. And they kind of like, we're playing pickleball. And they kind of like smirked or like laughed, right? And maybe it does look a little funny. That was a pickleball court of millionaires, right? And you can laugh and walk by, right? And hopefully, God willing, you get a great job that you love and find meaning within. But it's the attitude like that, the ignorant writing off that not only our community faces and has, but really just our generation that is scrolling all day, right? To laugh at people we don't even know, right? Our lead investor has 700 followers on Instagram and follows over 3,000 people. She's the richest woman we know and knows the people running the world, right? And so if I had to give any advice to my younger self, as Nathaneo kind of did, but even just, anyone, don't write anyone off, right? Connect with people, because that's really how the world should be, right? You don't know somebody's story. I don't know yours. You don't know ours, right? And so for us to write anyone off is a disservice to ourselves, truly.
It's 100% a disservice, and that concept, I think, is a great thing to end on, is that we're going to think about meaning and connection in different ways through Series. It's going to be massive, y'all. I'm really excited. Thank you for being here today. These types of conversations that are deep and personal are exactly why we built Coeus Collective. We're not asking about users, how you expect to get users, what your, oh my gosh, KPIs, like dude, acronyms need to be thrown away. We need to throw away acronyms generally. But we need to talk about how we're feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And founders need to know that they are allowed to feel things. And you all, I think, are going to lead the way on that with in way bigger programs than this one too. So when you're going to get that stage very soon, and I'm excited. So thank you so much for your time today, guys. I really appreciate it. Shout out Series, shout out yourselves. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, just search up Nathaneo Johnson and Sean Hargrow, maybe even on Google, and Instagram, LinkedIn's all there. We also respond to all of our DMs. So,
and more importantly, Series.so is live. Check it out.
Series.so. Thanks, guys.
Cool. All right.